Of those who buy video games based on movies, we can assume a few things to be accurate. One, they clearly don't value their own money or their own time. Two, their bad taste in movies is having an adverse effect on their taste in video games. And C, well, they've got to be used to having low expectations. That's something I notice when I play them too. Every time we're sent a movie game here at CGR Undertow, my expectations immediately lower. What would be a bad video game in every other circumstance is a passable one as long as it's based on a movie. That may not seem fair, and in a sense it's not, but when something is terrible most of the time, mediocre becomes impressive. And that's exactly the case here. While playing Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters, my first reaction was, wow, this isn't that bad. But then, after an hour had passed and the game hadn't evolved beyond that, I stopped and I thought about it. What if this were based on an original concept? What if the protagonist I'm controlling wasn't Ryan Reynolds? Does his handsome mug alone warrant a grading curve? Perhaps it does. These games have been so bad for so long, your mind creates one regardless of your own input. So I guess the better question is, does the game deserve a grading curve? I mean, do I frame this as a pretty good movie game or as a pretty bad video game? But see, here's the thing. At the end of the day, they're the same thing. And for some reason, Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters really coalesced that point for me. It's an incredibly bland game on its own, but for a while, I was kind of fooled into giving it extra credit just because it's based on a movie with strange casting choices. As if that means it did extra homework or something. Speaking of strange casting, you play as a character model of Ryan Reynolds with the most generic haircut I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a beat-em-up similar in design to the countless other movie games that are also beat-em-ups. And also there's something called God of War. At least that's the template for the on-foot missions. Strange enough, the game also adds on-rails flight missions, kind of like a Sin and Punishment Kindergarten edition. Reynolds flies forward automatically, and you have to dodge enemies and shoot the crap coming toward you. Simple as they are, I actually enjoyed these a lot more than the standard levels. I don't know why we can't just make movie games on-rails flight games. That'd be way better than this. And by the way, I keep referring to the Green Lantern by the name of his real-life actor because I simply refuse to acknowledge Ryan Reynolds was ever depicted as a superhero. You have to be fucking kidding me. Ryan Reynolds. The only thing super Ryan Reynolds has ever done is Scarlett Johansson. This game has everything you'd expect. Button-mashing combat, collectible glowing orbs, cooperative multiplayer, situational quick-time events, and lots of unabashed Kratos worship. And of course, it's also lacking everything you'd expect, including inspired gameplay, fun design, or any conceivable reason to purchase it. Now, if you like the movie and you want to know what it's like to be Ryan Reynolds, well, download a picture of Blake Lively or something. Unlike her, Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters is not something that would make your friends green with envy.